All right, what's going on, YouTube? Heylow here again with a Total War Warhammer 2 1v1 matchup. So today we are playing some Skaven, and we are playing against GloriousFeeder in a quick battle, and he is rocking the Dawi. So for today, our build is going to be a little bit goofy. Took some risks with it, decided to be a little edgy, and let's go over what we've got. So we have Queek Headtaker himself on foot, supported by a Plague Priest. With that, we are going to be bringing Blessed with Filth and Vermintide for bodies as debuffs. Far flank here is going to consist of 2 Doomflayers as well as the Dwarf Menace RR. Front line is going to consist of a bunch of Skaven slaves, and they are going to be supported by a whole bundle of clan rats. Out front, we are going to have 2 little flank elements of Death Runners each, so 4 total. And they are going to be trying to intercept any vanguarded units or going around the sides and getting at some of the juicy skirmishers or artillery. Over here for my opponent, GloriousFeeder are going to be rocking our wonderful friend Ungrim Iron Fist, supported by a Master Engineer. Front line is going to consist of an intermix of Dwarf Warriors as well as Miners with blasting charges. Backline is going to have 2 units of Rangers and 2 units of Thunderers with the Dragonback Slayer. 4 a unit of Dwarf Warriors back here defending 2 separate cannons, and then he is also going to have of gyrocopters. So let's get the ball rolling here. All right, so right off the bat, I'm going to see that I don't have any quick grabs that I can get with my Death Runners, so we're going to be pulling back. Build wise, I definitely took a chance here not bringing any skirmishers. I didn't want to go a Jezzail route, even though Jezzails are very solid, as are Rattling Guns. But I went for an all-rush army, and you can see I'm going to be getting punished for it pretty early on. These gyrocopters are going to be getting some free damage on my Death Runners, which really sucks for me, because that's kind of a key component of my force here. That's a lot of the AP getting nicked away. But right off the bat, we're going to be sending the Dwarf Menace and the players all the way around on the flank, trying to dodge some cannon fire, get these trees between us and the artillery. And they are going to be our flanking element here to try and punch through the gap as our forces push up. So fortunately, the Death Runner's not getting targeted just yet. Trying to get them far enough out of line of sight from the gyros that they're not spotted and we can keep them hidden. But we're going to continue to run ahead and advance. He's going to be focusing on Plague Priest. But over on the left side here, some of the Doomflayers getting into the Dwarf Warriors, and we're getting a nice little rear charge here and some friendly fire from the artillery on the Rangers. And we're going to be turning about as the Thunderers turn to fire downhill on us, and we do lose one of the Dwarf Menaces. So getting a little bit of damage done early, trying to break up this flank, get the Death Runners in here, try and get our forces up to support, and just try and pop what we can early. Over on the right side, we are also going to be enveloping with the Death Runners with the concealment bombs popped, so they have stalk and unspottable, and they are just going to be running around the flank, and he is going to see them as the concealment bombs are not quite effective when you're directly next to the enemy. So one unit going to make it through into the Rangers, the other one going to be getting tied up on some Dwarf Warriors, but that is going to be a good pickup for us. Over on the left side here, some of our Death Runners and Clan Rats getting an envelopment on the Dwarf Warriors, getting into the Miners with the blasting charges with some Skaven slaves to try and tie them up. Dragonback Slayers, though, making quick work of these Death Runners, unfortunately. Tough loss for us, but we're going to support them with some Doomflayers to try and get some extra picked up damage. So far, frontline not looking too bad for us, and we have Tretch and Ungrim just squaring up right now. Ungrim at 2,600, or Queek, not Tretch, excuse me, at 2,000. So Queek is trying to do his work. He's got all those wonderful buffs and debuffs going on, but he's kind of losing that fight. Not doing too great here against the old Ungrim buddy. But what a duel anyways. Wonderful, wonderful times. Meanwhile, though, my Plague Priest getting absolutely crapped on by these gyrocopters. Fortunately, again, part of the build, I don't have anything to contest these guys, so I'm just taking all that damage. I haven't really gotten much use out of them yet. I've tried to get a summon off here and there, but really haven't gotten much out of it. Ungrim and Tretch are trading, or Queek, excuse me, are trading out pretty hard right now. So it's looking like it's going to be a little bit of a wash. Trying to pull Queek out of there. Blessed with Filth going down, bringing the Plague Priest in, try and distract him. And then we are going to be turning about with Queek to get a nice little charge if possible. the summon coming in to support him, and we're try desperately to finish Ungrim off. Meanwhile, the left flank here, we're trying to cut through these miners so we can get into the juicy bits. Balance of power slightly in our opponent's favor. Some units are rallying in the background, though. Unfortunately, the same can be said for him. He has some Ragers back there. I haven't quite been able to shut down his artillery. These Dragonback Slayers are parked right on top of it, and I can't throw my Doom Flayers into that, or they're going to get shredded. So trying to get him out of position. His Dragonbacks are going to be pushing out to go after my players, and that's going to allow us to send the Clan Rats in to push these guys off. So the artillery crew is ruined. However, our poor Doom Flayer is getting pretty messed up right now amidst these Rangers by the Dragonback Slayers. Fortunately, though, left flank and right flank kind of collapsing, as well as the core. Most of our infantry units are pushing through pretty heavily. It's just a matter of trying to shut down these skirmish units and just finish them off. We want to push the Rangers out, get this artillery crew gone, and we are bringing in all our Clan Rats to try and swarm on the Dragonback Slayer and Thunder Pocket right there. Fortunately for us, though, our Lords are dead. They have been finished off by the Gyrocopter. However, we did pick up the kill on Ungrim. So we do have the balance of power pretty much dead even again. Unfortunately for us, they do still have the Master Engineer, so they are going to still have leadership on the battlefield, which is going to be very, very detrimental to us. Slightly pulling ahead, though. We are finishing off a pretty solid amount of units and taking out a lot of tools. Dragonback Slayers getting drowned in bodies right now. They're pretty much out of the fight, or they are going to be soon. However, these Gyrocopters proven to be a real problem. The lower leadership from the Doom Flayers causing them to get routed out, and I'm not going to be able to stop the Gyrocopters. So the Gyros are going to be able to just kind of chase them off the battlefield, and they still have a little bit of left. So trying as we are to force off some of these units like the Rangers over here and the cannon, I would turn my Clan Rats back, but they have a lot of ammo over here, and I don't have anything to shoot those with, and I'm running out of mobility. So if I don't force them off the battlefield, these units are just going to return, and I don't want to end up with the artillery crew coming back and possibly hopping onto something and starting to do some real damage. Don't want any of those Rangers firing into my flanks while I'm in combat. Big leadership penalty. Making those sacrifices. But some of my units are rallying. Some wonderful, wonderful Death Runners over here coming back to the fight. Desperately needed. So we're going to be sending our little pocket here in against the Master Engineer and his remnants of the Miners and Dwarf Warriors. We do have a solid amount of Clan Rats left, though. Not that much is to be said about Clan Rats, but bodies are bodies when it comes down to it, and we desperately need more. So fortunately, wavering out these Miners. Dwarf Warriors are going to be crumbling shortly too, but the Death Runners down to 21 models, not going to be lasting too long. And what we really need to do is get this Master Engineer out of the fight. So unfortunately, Clan Rat's not going to do ideally against them, but some of the Death Runners back here can. So if able, we're going to try and drown out these Dwarf Warriors, keep this Master Engineer surrounded, get the Death Runners in to finish some of these Dwarven infantry off, and try and chop our way to victory here. But Glorious is definitely not letting this go without a fight. Some of our Clan Rats coming back in, chasing this cannon crew, having pushed off some of the other units. But yeah, Clan Rats losing to the Dwarf Warriors over here, even with the distinct advantage in HP and models, but just barely keeping this fight going, just not doing super well. But yeah, meanwhile, Master Engineer just continuing to fight through Clan Rat after Clan Rat. Death Runners trying to force out the Dwarf Warriors, some more Skaven slaves trying to deal with miners and their non-existent blasting charges. But even still here, the Skaven slaves have a massive advantage over the miners, and they are still going to end up routing out. The lack of leadership from my force right now is really, really crushing me. I am getting some units rallying out on the outskirts, so we are trying to pull those guys back in. However, again, the dwarves a little bit here and there, when their units route out, they start coming back. So it's tough. It's super close right now, almost dead even. Some Death Runners do come back. We managed to force out this unit of Dwarf Warriors. Finally, another unit of Skaven slaves and some more Skaven slaves coming back. But we are losing this core pocket to the Master Engineer. Death Runners just not really holding up in the fight. Only 23 left, barely any HP, and the leadership is just crumbling on us. So this Master Engineer just soloing everything right now and just holding the line desperately. And we are just throwing all of the bodies into him, just trying to grind it out and grind it out. So a few units tied into him, and we're going to be pulling back some more Death Runners, but another volley coming in from the Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns. And I was concerned that they might have some bombs left, so I pulled the Clan Rats out and just sent these Death Runners in. And he did a really smart move here and just went straight into melee to try and terror route these guys. We do manage to route the Master Engineer though, and that is a huge pickup for us. Gyrocopters aren't amazing in melee, even though they have very high stats and a lot of mass. Like, if they get stuck into combat, the Clan Rats should be able to drown them down. So right now, the name of the game is to just get this Master Engineer out of here. Force this guy off the battlefield, because the other Gyrocopter is all the way out there pushing off the last of my Doom Flayers. And we still have another unit of Skaven Slaves getting rid of this Dwarf Warrior. But yeah, Skaven Slaves pushing off some more Dwarf Warriors. And it's it. If we can get rid of the infantry and ground units, he's going to have to engage with the Gyro. So as long as we can just kind of keep pushing up, we should be okay. So Death Runner's continuing to harry the Master Engineer and chip away as much HP as possible in case he does decide he wants to return. Fortunately, we're going to be getting some rear charges from the Gyrocopter, and that is going to shatter my unit of Death Runners. A huge loss for me. So meanwhile, Master Engineer now pretty much free. He's getting away. So we're going to pull the Clan Rats over and try and catch him before he can rally. Unfortunately for us, our sneaky stabby boys, our Ratmen, are pretty darn quick, and they are going to get hot on his heels. But trying not to blob these units up too much, because if we get the bombs there, or if we get rear charged or something, the leadership is going to crumble so fast. As you can see over here, this Clan Rat very quickly taking a chunk of damage off and down to less than half leadership. This unit routing just from proximity, and yeah, it's a struggle. So just trying to keep pushing the closest unit out after that Master Engineer. Just don't want him to come back, because if he does, we're gonna have problems. And Glorious is just doing some solid work with this Gyrocopter, just going after these units, getting the rear charges in, trying to escort, drop those bombs, getting some great value there, forcing them out. And again, leadership is just such a crap time for me right now. Nothing in combat with the Skaven Slaves. They're just wavering out of nowhere. So these units continuing to come back, trying to throw these Clan Rats in and maybe blob up on the Gyrocopters, try and get the Skaven Slaves after him. But we're having a heck of a time. We're having a heck of a time. The Skaven Slaves end up shattering, barely getting touched, but they're gone. Some more Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats coming in from the back, but these Gyrocopters are just having their way with our poor little rat people. And we are going to be pushing in our supporting units to try and get this guy pinned, and it's just not happening. So now the other Gyrocopter coming in to support the engagement. Balance of power is not in our favor. This Master Engineer is nearly going to be returning to the battle, because we've got a major gap here, and he does return. So he is going to be turning about and starting to drop his little ranged fire in. There's going to be a heck of a tough time, because that one shot is enough to rout the Clan Rats. And this next unit here going to be pushing in. We're going to try and get this Gyrocopter, send the other unit in the back after the Master Engineer. Some more units have rallied, so we do have a couple Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats in the background coming back in to support the fight. But a little bit of ammunition left on one of these Brimstone guns, and he is dumping it right into the Clan Rats there and getting some good kills, because they are kind of blobbed up. So what I am going to be doing here is force pathing through the Gyrocopters to try and get more models in base contact so I can do more damage. And then I'm just going to be like manually move ordering some of these units in, just to try and get like a massive surround on all of the unit models here. But the Clan Rats over here trying to do what they can against the Master Engineers, and we are going to be pulling all of our units in. We're doing some massive damage on this Gyrocopter, doing a great job now that we have all these bodies in base contact, and we do manage to rout it. So now we are going to be trying to chase it with one unit while taking another to go after this other Gyrocopter and see if we can finish it off. But this Master Engineer trying his might to take out these Clan Rats, and he's almost got it, but the Gyrocopter is going to come in and force those guys out of the fight, and the other Gyro makes it in the air, and that is such a tough break, because if we had managed to keep it on the ground or chase it long enough, we probably could have pushed it off the battle. But the other one over here at full health going to be coming in. We do rout out the Master Engineer one more time, but it's tough. The going is tough. Balance of power almost dead even, and we're gonna be throwing the clan rats in. The other Skaven slaves end up routing, and we're just running out of troops. Leadership keeps tanking on us. But this gyro over here still got tons and tons of health, 200 or 2,400 with 100 armor. And I'm just trying to get a leadership route on these things. One of them is wavering, but Glorious just pulls it right back in the air, keeping that leadership. And these 3 gyros in the fight, and he intercepts this other clan rat that was going after the master engineer, and these guys are just not going to last. We managed to kill 1, but the leadership is pretty much tanking on us. Another Skaven slave unit is back, but that just forces the clan rats to break over there, and that's another tough break. Balance of power teetering back towards our opponent, and then you can see Skaven slaves are routing, the leadership penalty just starting to really kick in. His leadership is stabilized now that he's got the balance in his favor, and these clan rats are just not having it. Trying to bring down the last gyrocopter, and it routes, but then one of my units breaks, and that is going to be it. That is going to be it. Down to the master engineer, almost dead, and one last unit of gyrocopter. So absolutely crazy battle. It was super close. It was a ton of fun. One of the big critiques for myself, I'm kind of rusty. I haven't been playing as much as I used to, trying to get back on it, but I was not really utilizing my spellcaster very well early on. Wasn't really getting very good like plagues or summons, and that was definitely a tough loss for me, because if I had utilized him a little bit better, that ending could have been completely different. Like, use my summons more effectively, use my Bless with Filth on some of those infantry engagements, and I just got trying to get my Doom Flayers in and maneuver my Death Runners. But yeah, it was a fantastic game. It was super close. It was tons of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you all next time.